This is Mag212 and this is my modification tutorial on the Nerf N-Strike Elite Crossbolt. In this guide, I'll be teaching you how to increase the power of your crossbolt and also remove some of the locks that make operating the crossbolt a little less smooth. So you're going to want to start off by unscrewing all of the screws in your crossbolt. Once you unscrew the screws in the handle, then you can just lift it off. However, you can't lift the back off because it's actually bolted to the gun. Once you take that handle off, you're going to want to remove the screw that's hidden underneath it. And also unscrew this screw in your bow arm so that you can take the string out. Once you take off the plate right here, you should be able to yank the string out. And now you are free to take off the top part of your crossbolt shell. Here are a couple of pieces that'll try to pop out on you. These are parts of the magazine release. This part goes in like this. And the next part is this little thing. And that will go over top of the first piece. And this is your magazine button, which goes in like that. Pause the frame here if you need help reassembling. For this mod, I'll be taking out my magazine release, both of my access doors, and I'll also be taking out the front portion of the crossbolt. Now we're going to get into some lock removal. There is a little lock right here that prevents you from doing a certain function if you don't have a clip in the gun. And as you can see, it's just as easy as pulling that piece out and taking its spring out. You don't need either of these pieces. To make everything easier, you can pull out this whole portion because it is one whole unit. And now we're going to be removing this lock right here. Just take some needle nose pliers and you can pull it out. You don't need either of these two pieces. This lock over here prevents you from pulling your trigger if your bolt is not all the way forward. I'm just going to be taking it out with my hands, and it's fairly simple to remove this lock. In order to access the locks more easily, you can remove this sled, and now take your needle nose pliers and you can pull out this lock. There's another very similar looking lock right here that you can also take out and throw away. There is also another lock located on the back of the unit. You can access this by unscrewing all of the screws and pulling the top off the bottom. Then you can just pull out the lock and throw it away. If you do choose to remove this lock, your system is going to be completely mixed up. So to reassemble, you need to take your trigger and its trigger spring. There are three very similar looking springs. One is very weak, one's in the middle, and one is very strong. You're going to take the medium strength one, and that's going to be your trigger spring. So just put that in there. This next piece is the catch. It goes in like that. This piece will need to also go in, and that is what pushes your catch back up. This little notch should go face down into the unit, and you have to reinsert the little spring that you get, because this is what's going to be pushing your catch back up. This is how it should look. Now this little piece, it goes in like that, and this piece, although I'm not sure what it does, goes in like that. Once you've got everything together, you can put the top back on, and now you'll notice that we have some springs. You'll need to take the heavy spring, and you're going to insert it through this little spring hole. It's very hard, so I'm using a screwdriver. You might want to get someone else to help you, but once it does go in, it should look like that. Now the very weak spring. This one is going to go into this spring slot like that. And now you can just slip your sled back on. Now that we've done all the modifications, we can actually reassemble. I'm going to put the front unit onto the main unit and slip that into the shell. It should align with all of the things, and make sure your handle is aligned with the bolt so that you can move it. And if you need help with specifics, this is what things should look like. Now you can just realign the top half of the shell with the bottom, and once you've got everything set and done, you can reinsert all the screws. Now we're going to get into how to increase the power of your crossbolt. Just take your bow string that you took out before and weave it back through. To increase the power, we're going to be increasing the string tension because ultimately the string is what propels the dart. As you can see, I have tied off the bowstring and there's some excess coming off here. Just clip that off with your wire cutters or scissors, and then you're going to put the plate back on and screw it back in. 95. Duplicate, 95. $93. Duplicate, 93. 94. 95. 97. 95. 94. As you can see, after the modifications, the crossbolt is shooting much better, approximately 95 feet per second on average, and that's all due to the increase in string tension. The lock removal does not help with the performance, it just makes it a little more smooth to operate and it makes it less restrictive. But that's the end of my modification guide on the Nerf N-Strike Elite Crossbolt. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching.